We pulling?
What's up, it's Jimfro, and this is our official guide for the Forgotten Experiments. I want to give a big thank you to our supporters on Patreon. Your support means the world to us, and it's what makes these videos possible. So, the Forgotten Experiments is a console-style fight, but you're only ever really fighting one boss at a time. We suggest bloodlusting when Thadrion becomes active in Phase 2, because he puts more and more permanent dots on players the longer he's alive. Now, in Phase 1, you fight Neldris first. All of her mechanics are pretty simple. There's a randomly facing frontal to dodge, an AoE roar that you need to run away from, and a charge that goes between a few marked players. The boss damages and applies a bleed to anyone in the path of the charge, so make sure to never be in between the marked players. And you could even have a designated spot that the marked players go to, but it's probably not that big of a deal. There's also a tank swap mechanic where the boss's auto attacks apply a stack of a permanent dot, and the dot can only be removed by the tanks colliding with each other when they both have stacks of it. However, removing it also causes a raid-wide explosion in dot for 20 seconds, so the tanks need to make sure the raid is healthy before they clear it to make sure no one randomly falls over. When Neldris dies, Thadrion becomes active starting Phase 2. This boss's main mechanic is a dispellable dot that goes out on a random player that slowly ramps up in damage. When you dispel this debuff, it jumps to another player, resetting the ramp damage as well as spawning a circle on the ground that players need to avoid. Because of this, you don't really want to be just spam dispelling the debuff. Instead, let the damage ramp up for a while between dispels so you have less circles to deal with. The boss keeps adding more of these debuffs too, so a really good way of dealing with this is having the players with the debuffs stacked together and get mass dispelled by a priest whenever you want to reset the damage. This strategy is even better on Heroic because dispelling the debuff on Heroic also spawns an orb that you have to kill. If left alive, it keeps casting unavoidable damage on the raid, so keeping the orb spawn synced up and stacked together might make killing them even easier. Also, when the boss gets to full energy, he channels raid-wide damage for a few seconds, and on Heroic, this channel causes any existing orbs to pulse additional raid damage, so you should for sure try and avoid spawning any orbs when the boss gets close to full energy. The only other mechanic this boss has is a cast that spawns a bunch of swirlies to dodge and the same tank swap mechanic as the first boss. When Thadrion dies, the final boss Ryan becomes active starting Phase 3. First thing is that the dispellable debuff from the previous boss carries over for the rest of the fight. Now this boss channels damage into a few random players, then leaving them slowed and pulsing damage to anyone in a small circle, so stay spread out until it goes away. The boss also spawns these golden orbs that constantly try to get to the boss and give him a huge shield. So everyone needs to help knock the orbs away by running into them in the opposite direction of the boss. They don't despawn and he keeps spawning new ones, so these can get a little hectic towards the end of the fight. And finally, when the boss gets to full energy, he jumps to the front or back of the room and casts a deep breath down one of 3 sections of the room, and he does this twice in a row. Getting hit by this basically one-shots you, so make sure to stop what you're doing and look for the section the boss is aiming for. Oh, and the tank swap is the same as the first boss's. And that's pretty much it. Here's a quick recap of the fight for you to review or screenshot for later. Our Patreon supporters get these guides early, so if you're interested in that, check out the links below. Peace.